Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my random thought. As you can tell from the title, well, let's talk about it. And to begin with, let me talk from my point of view for a second. Well, for a minute. Sorry if that sounds a little self centered. So, few years ago, I was in a pretty healthy relationship. We were happy, and when we decided to get married, we hit a big wall. Yep, our parents didn't give us their permission. And as you know, a woman's marriage isn't valid without that approval. So, even though we were madly in love, I chose to end it. I believe Allah had a reason for it. Well, maybe it was a test of my love and faith. So yeah, even though it broke me, I chose to walk away. A month later, he already had a new girlfriend. Not gonna lie, it was shocked and hurt me. And people started gossiping, acting like I was the problem maker one. When I found out how people reacted to it, it made the pain even worse, let alone talking about the breakup. It kind of felt like what we had didn't matter at all. Some of my friends even said stuff like, I told you he was too good for you. I told you he never really loved you. You must have done something to hurt him, did you? And yeah, at the time I believed them. But as time passed, I realized they were wrong. They literally know nothing. I knew him better than anyone else. Those people were just outsiders who saw things from the outside. What did they really know? Nothing. And even if he didn't truly love me back then, or maybe he did play with my feelings, I'm not embarrassed about how I felt. I loved him genuinely back then. I was real. I know myself. I do not fall for people easily, and from what I saw and felt, what he did back then for me was real too. I am not someone who'd fall for a rude, greedy, harsh, nonchalant person. It's just not my type. So I don't regret loving him the way I did. And yes, we had a fight. But does that make him less kind than he is? Nope. So, what I learned from my past relationship is no matter how much he hurt me or how big our spat was, for me, it's not because he is a bad person, and neither am I. It's just we're not good for each other. If you use chalk on whiteboard, does it work well for either of them? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make the chalk work, and it doesn't work for the whiteboard either, because they're not meant for each other. The resistance isn't for each other. It hurts to finally realize this. Well, it did. But has the truth ever made us happy? Has anything ever gone easy? For me, I am blessed to have met the people I've met. I am happy to know that there are people who are meant to exist in my life, even though they're just stopping by for a while and give you a life lesson. I'm glad to know people, even if our relationship turned bad, because they were there to balance my life. And I am happy to know that there are a lot of people who came to my life. I mean, all of them are special and unique, and they have their own role. If everyone liked me, I might have become cocky. If everyone praised me, I might have become rude. If everyone disliked me, I might have been lonely. If I ever felt completely alone, maybe my heart would have become lighter to hurt others. So, for me, no matter how bad our relationship, it's not just about my ex, it's just for everyone. Like, they play a very significant role in my life, even though they still really annoying. And maybe if me and my ex were still together, like I'm gonna marry him anyway, no matter our parents gave us their permission or not, we would have ended up hurting each other. If you truly love someone, you want the best life for them, right? So if you ever pray to God for your loved one's happiness and somehow He answered it by separating you with someone you loved, then I think you should feel happy and blessed because God answered your prayer, even if it meant breaking what you had built together. So, you know what? I think this is also a point where you have to be careful what you pray for. Be exact and specific about what you want because God never sleeps and He always listens, even to the tiniest thoughts your mind whispers. So, if you want really to be always together with this person, you have to say it specifically, exactly, and of course with all of your trust. I think it is also a sign to ask yourself, were our prayers truly for our good, or were they for our own selfishness? But again, this is not always about romantic relationships. It applies to everything. Just because you were rejected by a university doesn't mean you are bad or stupid. Maybe the uni and you were not meant for each other. Or maybe the time hasn't come yet. We never know. Well, even though, let's say your ex cheated on you, well, what he did is bad, but I don't think you have to hate him in order to forget him. The reason I'm talking about all this is because I want us to stop labeling things or people as bad just because they didn't turn out how we expected. Even the things or people that hurt us, don't hate them. Because most of the time, the thing we hate the most is actually a reflection of something in ourselves. The person we end up hating turns out to be ourselves. I knew someone who hated vapors or people who use pots. He judged them a lot, said they were disgusting, this and that and so on. And it's just few months later, I met him again and he turned into an even more active vapor than the person he used to judge. I mean, well, I'm not lying here. I mean, Allah holds our hearts, guys. He can flip them upside down anytime. The more you judge and hate something, the closer you might be to becoming it. You might ask, like, so should we like the devil then? Aren't they the real enemy of humans? Well, from what I said earlier, it's not about never disliking anything. It's more about what hate does to you when you hold on to it for too long. Of course, we are meant to oppose shaitan, devil, because they represent rebellion against Allah. But we should not fill our hearts with so much hate that it ends up corrupting our character and takes away our gentleness. There is a difference between standing up for what is right and holding on to hate so tightly that it poisons your character. And that is when you risk becoming the very harm you were trying to fight. Because you are not fighting the harm, you're becoming it. So this is a reminder that do not let hate consume you and poison your heart. If someone hurts you or does something wrong, let them be and let yourself be too. Thank you for watching this video and let's meet again in this video, inshallah. Assalamualaikum.